Hello, everyone. Welcome to our, I don't even know what to call this, chapter title reveal presentation where we are sharing our next upcoming book, Unleash Her. It releases October 25th at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My name is Hannah Olivas. I am joined here with Adriana, Nicole, Bella Bliss, and Sherry Dixon. We are all going to talk about um, one, why we wrote the book, a little bit about our title, but we're not going to give too much away about the chapter because the whole point of this is for you to get the book. So we're going to spend the next 30 minutes or so rotating authors from the book in. We get to talk to you about the premise of it, what it means to unleash her, and where you can get your copy. So I'm going to go first because I need to be in two places at one time, which I have proven it is possible. So my name is Hannah Olivas. I am one of the CEOs of She Rises Studios. And this book, Unleash Her, came from, it was supposed to be a solo book. And after sharing it with other people, I saw that this type of book is needed in so many different ways that it couldn't just be myself writing it. I needed a she tribe. So we turned it into an anthology, opened up the project, and started recruiting the most amazing women possible. And I don't say that lightly because they all have quite a chapter. My chapter is called My Sweet Baby. This is the very first time that I have ever shared publicly one of the most pivotal moments, one of the hardest moments in life that I ever had to face. And it is not about my diagnosis, it is something deeper. And it is something where I thought I was going to lose my mind, my marriage, and a lot of relationships. So I talk about that. I talk about the healing and what that was. And my hope today for all of you who pre-order this book, who ordered this book, who read this book, I pray that you can identify with each and every one of these chapters and really let it sink in and understand the importance of unleashing her, what that means, and stepping into and owning your power, being confident, being and understanding your brilliance as a woman and sharing that with everyone else. So thank you.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and pass it around just for those who kind of jumped back in. We're going around the room. We're going to share a quick introduction of why we wrote the book, the name of our chapter, and why you're excited for others to read it. So I'm going to circle back around to me, but let's kind of go through the rotation and let's hear from Nicole.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nicole Curtis. I am so excited to be here with all of you beautiful ladies right now that are on the screen. And we are really excited to share the Unleash Her book. Thank you, Hannah, so much for introducing it. Why I wanted to become part of the Unleash Her book is because for a really long time, I was terrified to let the inner me come out and be shown to the world. People pleasing was a huge struggle for myself that I had to overcome. And so I share a lot about that and some amazing tips to help women. So if you're listening with us and joining us right now, my chapter is called Slay Your Demons because people pleasing was a big demon that I had internally that I had to overcome and work through. So thanks so much again for having me. I'm really excited to be here. All you wonderful ladies on the screen are incredible, incredible women. And I'm just really excited to help women all over the world unleash their feminine power and being part of the book project of doing so. So thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Bella Bliss.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I am Bella Bliss, and I really wanted to share my story, my journey, because I feel like when we're in the deepest, darkest parts of our lives, that we don't really know that we're not alone and that there are people who are able to help us. And I was in a marriage for 20 years to in a very toxic relationship to a narcissist. So I share my story so that people know that there is life after divorce and also after a very toxic relationship. But I also wanted to share because there's a lot of healing that needs to happen and a lot of growth, and that's what we share our stories for, is to share with you that you're not alone and there is hope for you, and and there's a beautiful life for you to live after you've been able to connect from within. My chapter is called Be Seen, Be Heard, Be Limitless, and I am just super excited to be with all of you here. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Bella. That was beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Sherry.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Sherry Dixon, and I want to say thank you as well for being for everybody, just everybody's contribution, because this has been such an amazing journey. I told my daughter, I feel like I'm dreaming. So this has been great. I wrote my chapter based on really just that whole thought process growing up and wanting more. I believed I was going to just one day wake up to this miraculous life. And I had dreams and goals and things that I was going to accomplish. And of course, life happens along the way. And I had to definitely learn how to adjust and pivot and not give up on those dreams and goals, because so many people that I knew, which I became a teenage mom, and that was one of the very biggest challenges. And most people who were like me, they just gave up and became part of a life that was given to them. And I never wanted to be that. So my chapter is called Not Crazy, Just Wanting It All. And I outline how women just have the power to design the life they want by having the right support systems in place and the right mindset, and just not being afraid to go after what you want.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sherry. I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Elisa.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here. And I'm excited to be part of this book, Unleash Her. Oh my gosh, I'm pinching myself. I can't believe it. And the amazing women that are on this book. Oh my gosh, I feel like I know them and we are all so connected. So I can't wait for you guys to read all the stories and see how really we are all connected through all these stories that we're sharing to you guys. My chapter is called My Scars, Wounds, and Bruises Don't Define Me Anymore. And the reason why I wanted to call it that was because my whole life I grew up thinking that I was a victim of my circumstances, a victim of poverty, a victim of teen pregnancy, a victim of not being an illegal immigrant in this country. Like I always felt out of control and disempowered, and I thought that was just my life. I guess you suffer from depression. I guess you suffer from anxiety. I guess this is your life. And I realized that that's part of the drama triangle. That's part of being playing the victim role. And when I realized that I didn't want to be that role anymore in my movie, I realized that it's my movie. I get to choose who I want to be. I don't want to be the victim anymore. I want to be the creator, which is just flipping the roles around. And I decided to start creating my life and decided to get rid of all the labels that I had depression no longer is a label. It might be part of my life, but it doesn't define me anymore. And as I healed all the wounds and all the bruises that came through all the stumbles in life, I discovered and revealed my true identity. And as I've been unleashing that identity, I've been able to do amazing things, and it has made my life and my relationships so enjoyable that now this is what I do. I coach women to have better relationships, starting with the ones they with themselves. So thank you.
Thank you, Elisa. Beautiful, insightful. I just knowing, a little bit more of your background too. You have a very interesting business too that I hope people go and check out. So feel free, ladies, to, talk a little bit too about how you're implementing some of your business life into the book if you'd like. But again, all these chapters are amazing, super insightful, very inspirational. They're going to help you to understand yourself more and appreciate that. I'm going to go over to Rebecca.
Hi, I'm grateful to be here. I'm Rebecca Chandler in Tucson, Arizona. I'm the owner of Holistic Arizona Healing Ranch with my husband, who's a licensed acupuncturist. He's been in practice for over 40 years. And I also run Holistic Finance. I do finance work to support our philanthropic efforts. We provide discounted and sometimes free healthcare to foster families and adoptive families in our area. My chapter in this book is called Agent to Act, Not Object to React. That's been, I think, a common theme for many of us, where we may have felt like we just have to roll with everything that was happening in our lives. And now many of us have realized, no, we get to choose. I love that this book is all about women's power. And I'm grateful to share this experience with so many wonderful people, so many wonderful women, because our power is not a power over. Our power is a power to lift. Our power is a power to nurture, to heal, to comfort. And in my work now, and with the books coming out too, I'm finding more people need us. More people need us to share our stories. More people need us to share our hearts, our care, and our love. That's the power I'm learning that's been kind of hiding inside of me. And I thought, for a long time, I thought, oh, who, me? I'm not big enough. I'm not strong enough. I don't have any power, or, I'm too broken. I can't do anything. I can't have a positive impact. I was silent about so many things, hidden even from myself. And now I'm learning to let go of those limiting ideas and stories, learning to let beautiful things develop and grow in my heart and in my world. My family is feeling it. It's beautiful. We're all evolving as I'm making these very deliberate steps to go forward in my healing journey and my growing journey. It's bringing everybody along. It's really beautiful. We're also, we're all learning that as we unleash this beautiful power, we become a source of light and comfort to others who are hurting now. And for that, I am supremely grateful to be able to make the choice to act proactively, writing in this book, doing the healing work with my husband in our healing ranch here. And I'm very humbled to be among all the authors of this book, and feel really grateful for this whole movement in the She Rises Studios.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm going to pass it over to Keitha.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. It has been such a privilege to get to know all of these amazing women. We have had the opportunity to start to get to know each other. And, I think we all came into it a little nervous, but I think that just reassuring one another that we're all in the right place at the right time, and we were all meant to be together. And I'm just super excited to be a part of the group. My chapter is called Dig Deep. I really feel like that we sometimes have to really start to dig deep to figure out what causes us to bury her to begin with. So when I talk about unleashing her, for me, I had to figure out what were the issues or the events that had happened, or the pivotal moments, defining moments, as I call them in my chapter, that caused me to turn to binge eating, secret eating, overeating, to hide myself and bury myself. And so in order to unleash her, I had to figure out what those things were. And I went through and did some things. I made a list of all these moments that could have contributed to it. And, and there's always these very moments that you expect. Things, heartbreak and divorce and abuse and things like that, and things that go on. And what I discovered when I was preparing for this chapter was that there was thousands of defining moments, and we have to start to work through those defining moments. Today, I had the most awesome experience, and it made me cry, and it made me cry again, was that I was in a small group with some women, and a girl started to share a story. And it was a story she'd never shared before. And she'd never shared it before because she was afraid. I was in awe of what she was saying, because the very story, part of the story in my chapter, is one that I've only shared with 2 people in my entire life. And I put it in black and white. And she was telling the same story. The reason that I wanted to be in this chapter was because I feel like if we can just say the things out loud, not be judged for them, and know it's just experiences that we went through, it defined us. And so today I felt like hearing her story reminded me it's okay that you put that in the book, because there's other people out there just like you that did not realize the impact it made. Even though it seemed innocent at the time, it was not. And so I just really felt like, wow, God, wow. And these ladies have all heard me say that so many times over the last couple months, because so many things have just come into place. And so I feel like this book is about us speaking out about what holds us down. And so I'm just super humble and proud to be a part of this group of ladies, because they all have just poured their heart into this book. Thank you.
Thank you, Keitha. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to CJ.
Hello, I'm CJ, and if somebody would have asked me any time in my life up till like 2 years ago, I would always ask, or if they'd ask me who I was, I would define myself by I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a employee, and I never really stopped and thought about who I was as a woman, as an individual. And when I first started talking about this book, it was like, when she mentioned what the title was going to be, I'm like, that's the one that I want to be in. I meant to be here. And then, you allow your fear to set in and think, okay, but what am I going to share? I'm not as good as this. I don't stack up. And having gone through and talked with all these amazing ladies, I just feel honored and humbled to be in this space with all of you, because your stories are so powerful and impactful. And I think through this book, we're going to impact so many hundreds of thousands of women who think that they don't have what it takes. And by reading on our stories, they're going to be inspired to up level and really take charge of their lives and know that they have something deep inside them that they need to let out. For me, my chapter is called Pull the Damn Ripcord Already. Nobody else is coming to save you. And for me, that it really lands because my whole entire life, I was running from something. I was trying to find someone who was going to save me from my abusive childhood. I was trying to find somebody who was going to rescue me and, be my knight in shining armor and, marry me and whisk me off and right off into the sunset. And I really realized that having stuck in the pattern of trying to find somebody else to save me, I was giving my power away. I was giving away who I was as a person, as a woman, and any value that I had. And when I, it really impacted me when I started realizing that those labels that I identified myself with within a time period of 3 years, all of those labels went away. Like they all got poof up in the wind. And then I was like, okay, I have 2 choices. I can continue to be a victim and, lay in the corner, fetal position, and woe is me and become a statistic. Or I can, dust myself off, pick myself up and figure out who I really want to be as a woman. And at 50, it's amazing to go through that journey and do the inner work and the personal development and all the things to really just start to dream again and figure out who you are and, you know, who I am as a woman, who I want to be, and what I want to have for my mission for this world. And what I realized by doing that is that I really am unleashing the her that's in me. And I've never done that before. I've never had the, you know, permission. I've never given myself the permission to do so. And I hope by people reading this book and reading all these chapters that women will understand that they don't need to look outside for anybody else to save them. They just need to look within, and they have all the tools and the power within themselves to absolutely become anything they want in this world. And I always, you know, it's really humbling to realize that we're all here on purpose. Not one of us are here by accident. We all were led to this space on purpose because we have a purpose so much bigger than what we even realize. And I just am so excited to see where this takes us and how many lives that we can impact in this movement. So I appreciate She Rises Studio, and I'm so honored for the opportunity to be amongst these amazing women.
Thank you, CJ. I think you had a great point, and something that we don't often think about when it's happening, when we're going to start these anthologies. Like, yes, we're doing it for other women, but then we start to write the chapters and we realize, like, oh my God, this is happening to me. And you're becoming the center of the attention that you maybe didn't, you know, never wanted to begin with, but it's because it's actually a healing step in our journey. So I love the insightfulness that you shared there. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Julianne.
Thank you, Adriana. My name is Julianne Williams, and the name of my chapter is Building a Lifetime of Resilience, Hope Through Hardship. And I am so happy to be a part of this book with this incredible book of group of women, because we have all gone through very different things. My story is that when I was 36 years old, my husband took his life, and we had 2 children, ages 7 and 3. And I have never been through anything more difficult. And I had to pick myself up. He had financially destroyed us, then took his life, and I had to pick myself up and raise my children. And, you know, I was always a very strong, independent woman and young woman, but this really knocked me down. And I was very open about his death, the cause, but what I was not open about through the years is the angst and the troubles and the struggles that I experienced, reinventing myself, raising my children, and reestablishing myself financially to provide for my family. And so what I talk about are some of the things that I had to learn on my own, about grief, about myself, about what people thought or think about me, because people always have opinions, and how the only thing that mattered was my goal of unleashing what was in me, which meant being honest and telling people about what was happening behind the scenes while everybody was telling me I was so strong, and letting people know that all of those things are part of hard lessons. But through that, there's always hope. And so the hope that I give is that life can move forward. Life doesn't always turn out the way you expect it. As a matter of fact, it likely won't, but life can be even more, even if it's not the way you planned. And I am grateful today for every experience that I have been through, even though it has been very difficult at times. I am now 17 years later, and I have 2 beautiful young adults who are doing very well, who I have been able to be their mom. And I have been able to have an amazing career that has been fulfilling and rewarding. And I have a life I love. And if you would have asked me 17 years ago, I would have told you that my life was over. So I want to be living proof that you can create the life that you want, even when it turns out different than you planned. So thank you for letting me share, and I hope you enjoy my chapter.
Beautiful, Julianne. Yeah, it's everyone's chapter, but I think for those who may not have publicly, talk about what someone like you has gone through, will be able to connect on a level that's unimaginable, unexplainable at times. So thank you so much for being strong and sharing that, and truly accepting within yourself of what that means, to be strong, because that there's different levels of strength. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Vani.
Hello, hello. My name is Bonnie Leach, and I am the owner of Forever Open Journal and Notebook Collection. It's a faith-based business that has different themed journals and just cute designs of notebooks. And I don't know, I'm kind of nervous because I've never done anything like this before, but then also super excited for the different authors that I've been able to meet and work with and get to know a little bit. And the name of my chapter is Open To, and Open To is about being open to healing, growth, ourselves, and the impact that we're meant to create. And how I really believe that it just builds on one another, as who we are is not for ourselves, even though sometimes like we may think it is, but we're meant to touch and reach and impact people beyond ourselves. And so I really believe that without being open to those things, we won't ever get to our greatest impact. And so I really feel like that would not have been possible. One, if I didn't go through that myself. And then also knowing that I did reach to a level of where I have been able to unleash a lot of things. But now I'm in a point in my life where it's time to go to higher steps. And so I continuously reevaluate the things that I wrote about in my chapter to push myself and to get to higher levels, because I mean, I don't know who I'm meant to impact. God knows. And I just, that if I'm not in line and doing the things I need to do, that they won't essentially get help or whatever resources or unlock things that were meant to unlock in other people. And so I'm just not comfortable with not really being able to fulfill my purpose in that way.
Love it. All about growth. And thank you. You know, even though you're nervous, that you still push through. So yeah.
Thank you.
Love the share. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Denise.
Hi there. So I am the CEO of Denise Hester Consulting. I've been coaching for over 15 years. And the title of my chapter is Be Savage, Never Average. It is a takeoff my motto that I live by, because I firmly believe there are so many women that have just lost themselves and they've given to so many other people and been that caregiver. And then we eventually I'm so sorry, two big dogs. We eventually beat ourselves up. And we're constantly so hard on ourselves. And there comes to a point in time where, you know, kids grow up, people move on, and then you're stuck with yourself. And who the heck am I, right? And who the hell is she? To be unapologetically yourself, unleash yourself, have that fun, put that fun and spark back into your life. Discover your own inner truths with that. And to be able to do that, sometimes we are not aware of how much we have lacked our own self-love and our own self-care and our own nurturing and just giving ourselves time. I mean, I run like the Energizer Bunny, so I'm not quite sure what it meant to calm my brain, to be one within myself. And when you find that, it is just so liberating and so fun to just let yourself go, to be that boisterous and bougie person that just lights her soul on fire. And you can show up no matter what you look like, who you are, where you are. Like right now, I've had some facial stuff done. I don't care. I don't have makeup on. Does that mean it's differentiating who I am? I am that same person inside. And every woman needs to know that they can show up no matter what they look like, where they're at in their life, and what they're doing. If they want to make a difference, if they want to unleash their self and light their soul on fire, just decide.
Awesome. Thank you, Denise.
Yes.
Oh, did you mention your other book that's
very
in line with this, by the way?
I do have a best-selling book, an Amazon best-selling book, and it's called Inhale Abundance, Exhale Bullshit.
Just wanted to put that out there, ladies, because it's awesome. So
and they have read it. So thank you, Andrea. And so is Hannah.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Angela.
Hi, can you hear me? Hi, my name is Angela Godoy, and I am the founder of Serenity and Salud, and I help women deal with the aftermath of a cancer diagnosis. The title of my chapter is Blooming Like a Lotus Flower from the Mud. I really believe that I love the representation that lotus flowers bring, and they grow in the mud, in the muck, and the yuck. And I really believe that that's where we find so much of our growth. And we don't realize how beautiful that we blossom after we've experienced areas of our life that are dark, that are just difficult to deal with. And so that I'm just really, really grateful for She Rises Studios for allowing me to be a part of this project. And you guys are just all doing amazing things. And I'm really nervous right now.
Don't be. We're just one big happy family of women who want to be there to support each other. And we're going to be doing more of these things. So we got to shake the nerves out today. So that way the next time we're just ready and amped to go. You have an incredible story, but you also have an incredible business. Did you want to kind of talk a little bit about what that looks like? Because it's very different than a traditional
so one of the things I do, a couple of things, is I really help women reset their nervous system, especially after you've experienced some sort of a trauma or something that has been really just shaking up your nerves a lot. I work with you to use yoga so that you can reset your nervous system, calm your nerves, and learn how to pay attention to your breath and mindful of the sensations that are going on in your body. I also help with transformative travel. So it's a wellness travel experience that can help you plan if you have disabilities or you have a chronic illness, and I can help you plan that travel so that you can have a successful trip that can transform your life.
Awesome. And I just mentioned, because all the ladies here just have such an amazing and different background that they bring, mixed with the stories that have shaped who they are here today and what they ended up sharing. So this book is different. It's just amazing. And I am excited for everyone to be able to read it. Even the authors that some of them are meeting each other for the first time here today, ladies, just so you guys know. And when they get to read each other's, they're just going to have an even better connection. And when moving forward, you're going to see differences in the way they speak and connect and collaborate. So these kinds of projects do more than just tell a story. I call it legacy marketing, because you're leaving your legacy, and it's just this intense therapy that happens with books like these. So I just want to congratulate everyone and remind you, don't be nervous. This is where you're meant to be. I'm going to pass it over to Christine.
Hi, everybody. My name is Christine Birch, and I run a consulting company called Starling Brook. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and recently transplanted over to Vermont in the United States. So a little bit about, I want to maybe just give my title first and then explain a little bit about where that came from. So my title is called How to Stop Your 9-Year-Old Self from Running the Show. I've worked in the field of mental health and leadership development and executive coaching, coupled all over 30 years. And really, I spent a lot of time working with leaders and women in the workplace, looking at what are the limiting beliefs that keep us stuck from being able to move forward. And, quite often I'd be working with people and they'd say, oh, you have a limiting belief and you just need to get over it. And it used to always really bug me. I'm like, okay, well, what friggin' limiting belief are you referring to? That I don't think I'm a morning person, or like what that I'm not good with finances, or like what is my limiting belief? And so I realized that when I got into coaching, that a lot of the times we would tell people what to do, but we wouldn't tell them how to do it. And so in my chapter, I wanted to start from just awareness. And in my years of working with clients and myself, I've come up with 5 limiting beliefs that I specify, give you some background on each to help you look at which one of these might be the one that's keeping me stuck. And I share my own story through my limiting belief as well. And so just wanting to give people an opportunity to look at perhaps what's the awareness of the one that's got me, and then what can I do about it afterwards? And so some of the things that I'm doing with it, I'm excited to have written this chapter because for a long time I've been trying my material out on my clients. And so finally my client said, "Why aren't you writing a book about this?" And I thought, oh, the thought of writing a book was way too daunting. It's been something I wanted to do. I written a book in the past with a couple of colleagues, and I thought, oh, I don't know, it's so much work. So when this opportunity came, I was like, yes, I can write a chapter. I can be in a book with other really inspiring, phenomenal women, and that the book collaboratively and collectively could be so much bigger than the things that I could share alone with my clients. So I was really excited to have this opportunity and to meet with you. And so I'm in awe of having the opportunity to work with all of you. And I'm excited for this book launch. And I can't wait for October 25th. So woohoo, go out there and buy our book.
Yeah. Wow, Christine. I mean, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And I love the background to just really enhance the effect of all the books. You know, I love seeing books.
They're real.
Yeah. It's just so amazing. I think we went through everyone. Keith, that you did go already, right? You did get to introduce and.
Oh yeah, I did. I went earlier.
Awesome.
The only thing that I didn't talk about was my business a little bit. The only thing that, because I got really nervous like everybody else, didn't do that part of your question. And so I am the host of a podcast called The War on Weight. And that's, I started that podcast after I started working with women with their weight loss. And Denise, I'm with you about showing up. However, so today, some of the ladies on here know I have a raging fever. I don't feel good. I feel terrible. And I put some lipstick on. I put these glasses on so y'all wouldn't see my eyes. And I put this cute necklace on so that I would not look homeless.
No
Here
makeup
I am.
needed.
Here we are.
We don't need makeup. You're beautiful exactly the way you are.
And so I knew I'd be in good company and it would be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
You ladies are awesome. And I hope you feel better. I don't want you to take some medicine and do whatever you can. Yeah, it's so different. Every time we get to do one of these reveals, we kind of get to look within ourselves, because I always tell my family, I don't have just one person I speak to really get things off my chest. You know how you have your tribe of individuals, and not one person will know your whole story. You pick pieces that you share with someone because of how you relate to them. So I have, an extreme privilege to be able to share my life in all the different books. This one in particular, mine was very short, simple. It's called It's Not Luck. My whole life, and I'm only 20 years old, but still, I get this a lot. Everyone tells me, oh my God, you're so lucky you got to, and then whatever it is. And one day my dad told me, he's like, Mija, he's like, it's not luck. He's like, you put the work in. He's like, you did what you needed to do. And it started to hit me at a young age, because this has been a thing that I've wanted to do my whole life, as far as like helping people and women in different aspects. But he's like, it's not luck, you put in the work for it. And then it started to really register with me. And I started to carry that confidence within myself growing older, and realizing that we forget that we've really created what we want for ourselves. And it's when we forget that we can decide that where we get stuck, and where those limiting beliefs really stem from. There are moments in our lives that shape us because someone told us, as an example, oh, you're lucky. And that's, even though the word luck can be a positive word, in that kind of context, it can be a negative connotation. And therefore we're like, oh, well, we can't replicate that process because it was just by chance. It's not. Everything that we've done and that we continue to do, it's because we've done the work. You ladies wrote the chapters, you lived through those moments and you overcame them. So this chapter for me was really expressing how from a young age to where I am now, that I carried that strength within myself and position myself in a way that I can continue having that strength. So I give some tips on basically not having those limiting beliefs, but not using that word, and just really trying to help women understand that they've always had it. You ladies have always had that within yourselves, and it starts from that childhood, because you grow up and you're not afraid of anything as a kid for the most part. It's when you're exposed to things and maybe sometimes told, oh, be careful with this and be careful with that. So it shapes our minds. But when we're little, we're the most impressionable because we don't know the difference of being scared or being excited. So we just run with things, we go with it. So if you keep that passion, you keep that light within yourself that you've had since you were a child, nothing can stop you, is where we're trying to go with that. So I'm excited for this book. If you ladies have anything else to say, besides, get the book, obviously we want everyone to get the book. If you haven't already, order your copy. All of these ladies have a spot where you can go over and order a paperback signed copy from them. The pre-order for the ebook is going to be available this Friday, so keep an eye out on your Ladies Networks channels, the She Rises Studios platform and page. A lot of awesome stuff is coming your way, so congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, well, if we have nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and end it, and everyone have an amazing evening, and we will see each other on the next one on book launch day. Lots of good stuff. Thank you, everyone.